Hey, what is up guys? It's Bruiser Tizzy here, back again with another Santa Fe Scorpions Dynasty video. And in this episode, we'll be finally doing Santa Fe's first ever off-season. So this is about to be a really fun episode. Off-season is my favorite part of NCAA dynasties, as it's just really fun to put together your whole entire team for next year and look at all the additions you have and see everyone that's boosted in training. Then create your schedule and everything for next year, and seeing the recruits for next year as well. So it's a really fun time. So let's get this episode underway. Really quickly here, I'll show you the bowl results from this whole entire year. So I'm just gonna name off some big bowls, not all the big or all the small ones here, but you can see yourself. So one of the more notable bowl games was the Rose Bowl, as Oregon took down number 7 Georgia 28-24. So that must have been a pretty good game. And then the Sugar Bowl here, Oklahoma destroyed Wisconsin. So not surprising that'll be, as Oklahoma was number 3 ranked in the country. And the Orange Bowl, Georgia Tech narrowly beats Notre Dame in the Orange Bowl, so that's kind of interesting. And your national champions are Ohio State, as they brought down Alabama 45-31 in the BCS Bowl Championship game. So I'm just going to look at the coaching changes within our own division here. So let's see what happened. And it looks like it's just so far a bunch of extensions or left for new jobs for every single team. And their head coach here, Southern Miss's head coach, got fired. So it's unfortunate for them. And our only coaching change was that our offensive coordinator, Paul Brooks, got an extension, so no coach firings, so that's pretty good. And here are the players that will be leaving Santa Fe this year, all due to graduation. Luckily no transfers. So Clarence Keys, he didn't really get any playing time that much this year, but he's graduating. And sadly, Dion Pittman, one of our best defensive players here, our best, obviously our starting free safety all year, is graduating. So that's kind of unfortunate. And then our starting fullback, Wyatt Cabral, is also graduating. Antoine Crooks here, and our punter, Kennard Mark, and left guard, Clinton Burke. None of these players really got playing time except our punter. And Yodeline Meeks was backup, and Rashad Walter was also a backup. So no really big losses here except Dion Pittman and our punter, Kennard Mark. But I mean, we got ourselves a punter in that committed to Santa Fe already, so it doesn't really matter. It's just that Dion Pittman is gonna be really missed. And no one got drafted from Santa Fe. Not really a big surprise, because you have to have like a 90 overall or better player to get really drafted or considered drafted at all. So not really surprised, since our best player was 77 overall, Dion Pittman. And we get a transfer request here. Tyler Johnson, 71 overall middle linebacker. He's a freshman coming from Baylor. So this is actually really good. This is like really surprising. I never really get transfers in my other NCAA dynasties, so actually really happy about this. And here is the biggest part of the offseason right here. Doing the recruiting at the end of the season. And you only got one shot to try to commit these players, so we got to really make it count on some of these players. So our first recruit that we'll be looking at here is Eddie Lucas, athlete from Bellefontaine, Ohio. He's a 4-star athlete, and we don't really have that much of a lead. I mean, we have a lead on him, but it's not that far down the race, so we're going to have to commit tons of points here for a chance to get him. He has 90 speed though, and most notably in his coverage stats, 87 man and 87 zone. So he could be a really good corner for us. Could also be a wide receiver, as he has 78 catching, 74 catching traffic, 79 route running. So we have some options here if we want to try to sign him, but I feel like this might take tons of points to try to get him to commit here. So I might wait to the end to decide on him. And then the second player we'll look at right here is Patrick White, 3-star outside linebacker, 78 overall, and we definitely have a huge lead on him. Definitely want to get Patrick White, as he's really good. If you want to look at his stats real quick here, he has 88 speed, 80 zone coverage, so he's a really fast and really good coverage linebacker here, so I really want him. So I'm going to put a lot of points in him, even though we have a huge lead. Alright, I'm going to put 2,100 points into him. Hopefully he'll commit to us. We have a really big lead over Ohio and Duke and the others, so really hope he signs here. And here's a really tight race here as Brandon McKeon, 77 overall athlete, 4-star athlete as well. We just barely have a lead over Illinois and Boise State on him. And I'm not so certain that I want him. He's a pretty big target as he's 6'5", but he doesn't have that many skill traits here as he only has 89 speed. He has decent catching stats. And we could also put him at running back as he has decent running back stats, but like I said in previous videos, it would be really awkward to put 6'5" running back out there. So, just like Eddie Lucas, I'm going to hold off on him for a bit and try to sign these other players. And here is Mark Foster, 75 overall cornerback from Ohio. And I really want him because I think he could be a really good corner for us. So we barely have a lead over Minnesota here, and Marshall is also in the consideration. So I'm going to pour tons of points into him, and hopefully we'll get him. Alright, so I'm going to put 2,850 points into him. Hopefully he signs here. I really hope we get him because this is our best secondary prospect. And here's a player that I haven't really mentioned, running back Marcus Marquardt from California. He's a 3-star running back, 69 overall. We just barely have a lead over him on Wyoming, so I don't know if I'm gonna get him. I guess I will put some points into him because we're not that deep at running back, so I'll put, I guess, 1,000 points into him. And here's another prospect that I think we're just too late in the battle for, as it's just going to take tons of points just to get him to commit here. So I think I'm just going to skip out on Brandon Heath. Here's another player that I really like, Kareem Kellens, free safety, 3-star free safety from Ohio. And I was viewing him as a replacement for Deion Pittman, so I'm really hoping we get him. We're just under the lead from Penn State here, so I'm going to put a few points into him. So I'm going to put 1,900 points into him. Hopefully that gets it done. I don't know though, it might be kind of tricky here. Pete Joseph, tight end, I'm just going to skip out on. We're 1,000 points behind, no need for a tight end. Alrighty, so we have about a little over 2,000 points left over after going through everybody here. So I've decided to put the rest of all my points into Brandon McKeon. The reason why I didn't go with Eddie Lucas here is because if we do indeed get Mark Foster here, we don't really need a cornerback, and I would mainly use Eddie Lucas as a cornerback, and we also got Marlon Keys here, so there's no need for another cornerback. Instead, I'm just going to try to get another target here for Santa Fe. I'm going to pour the rest of my points into Brandon McKeon. So hopefully here, 2,150 points will get the job done for Brandon McKeon. But yeah, let's see how this turns out. Alrighty guys, here is signing day, and here are the results. So Eddie Lucas decides to go to Bama, and Patrick White signs with us, luckily. That's a huge get. And Brandon McKeon doesn't go with us. We were just under 500 points away from us, so he decides to commit to Illinois. But also good news, we get Mark Foster. That's really key for us. And it looks like Marcus Marquardt decided to go with Wyoming. And another surprise here, we actually got Kareem Kellens. We were just barely over Penn State, so really glad he decided to sign with us. And here's just a few other players that commit that we didn't put points into, but Eric Hamilton, strong safety, decided to sign with us, and Mike Cutler, a 62 overall defensive end, and a 62 outside linebacker, Brian Johnston. So overall, I say that was a successful signing day as we got most of the prospects that we wanted. And I especially really wanted Patrick White. I didn't really care about Eddie Lucas here. And Brandon McKeon, that kind of hurts, but I mean, he wasn't that high on my priority list. And I think my biggest signing here was Mark Foster, 75 overall cornerback. And also, I'm really happy about Kareem Kellens coming here, so really good signing day for us. And here is all the top classes all over the nation here, and Santa Fe was actually ranked the 36th best class, so I'm actually pretty surprised by that. We signed 2 4-star prospects, 15 3-star prospects, 2 2-stars, and 1 1-star, so Overall, we got 20 new players coming onto Santa Fe, so that's really exciting. So we are now at the position changes stage of the offseason, and one of the biggest position changes that we anticipated was Travis Roberson, so let's see what his best overall fits with us here. So what I was originally planning to do with Travis Roberson was putting him at QB. He is a 77 overall at QB right now. He's actually a 79 overall running back, so that's kind of crazy that he's higher overall higher overall running back than a QB. And he is also a 78 overall wide receiver. And at cornerback, he is a 77 overall. And actually at free safety, he's a 79 overall. So we can put Travis Roberson at so many positions here. So the main positions I'm thinking about here is either QB, wide receiver, or putting him at free safety right here, which he is a 79 overall at. So I'm not so sure which one I should really put him at. So for right now, I'm going to put him at QB because this was the original position that I planned on. He has the most traits for a QB as well, so I don't think putting him at free safety would be a good idea, even though you have insane range. He just would be a really poor tackler, and that wide receiver, I don't think we would be using his full potential, so I'm going to put him at QB here. And Johnny Morris might get replaced this offseason. So one other position change I'm kind of considering here is moving our newly acquired middle linebacker Tyler Johnson that transferred here to right side linebacker, potentially to replace Carlos McFadden. So Johnson would be a 71 overall at right side linebacker, and McFadden is a 72 overall, so I might want to put Johnson over at right side linebacker to replace McFadden. So I did indeed change Tyler Johnson to a right side linebacker, and I'll just see who I'll start depending on the training boost they get. Alrighty, here, let's look at the training results, and this is a really big time of the season to see which players boosted in overall and overall stats and stuff like that. So looking here first at the QBs, Johnny Morris went up 5 overalls. He got addition to speed, and let's look at his QB traits, and he got +1 in throw power and +3 in accuracy, so pretty good upgrades for Johnny Morris. He's now an 82 overall. And looking at running backs here, Lavelle Evans got a +6 overall boost, so that's nice to see. He got +1 in speed, got +1 in agility, +3 in acceleration, and +5 in break tackling, +3 in trucking, +3 in elusiveness, and +5 in ball carrier vision. So Lavelle Evans with some nice upgrades. Jovan Thurman got up to an 80 overall, and some of our backup running backs here also got +6 overall upgrades. And looking at wide receivers here, Marcus Washington is now an 80 overall. Jeffrey Cox is at a 77. Bernard Smith is at a 77 as well. And Alex Noon, I'm surprised he didn't go up by more overall. He only went up by 4, and now he's a 75 overall. Glenn Saunders got a +4 overall boost, and now he's a 78 overall. And I'll quickly scan through my offensive linemen here, as our starting left tackle is now an 80 overall. And our starting left guard got +5 overall, now a 75. Paris Fernandez, our starting center, got +6 overall change, so now he's a 77, so that was a nice training boost. And our right guard Heath Norwood, to our best offensive lineman, got a +6 overall change. He's now an 83, so that's pretty big for our interior O-line. And this isn't so good, as our starting right tackle Kendrick George only got +3 overall boost, so that's not good whatsoever. Jamel McIntyre is currently now at a 73 overall. Avery Randall got a +5 overall boost, now putting him at a 79. Oliver Murphy went up +4 along with Trey Harrington, so there was 76 overall and 69 overall. Thomas Moore is now a 76 overall. Rashawn Woods got a pretty nice boost, 5 overall boost, and now he's an 82 overall. And Carlos McFadden and Tyler Johnson both got +4 overall boost, so I was kind of hoping here Tyler Johnson would get a higher overall boost than Carlos McFadden so I could start him, but we'll see who will start later on. And looking at our corners here, Derek Skinner only got a +4 overall boost, not what I was really hoping for. and Damian Good a +5, Kevin Maxwell +4, and actually Elvis Adams got +6, so that's pretty good. And this will be our new starting free safety, but Chris McCarthy got a +4, so now he's a 74 overall. Titus D'Angelo is now 80 overall, and look at this. Marcelo Thurman got a +8 overall differential boost, so now he's a 72 overall. He has 92 speed at safety. Oh my god, I might have to think about putting him in here. He has 79 elusiveness. Jeez, I could really use him here as a special decoy. And he also has 76 zone and 75 man coverage, so I'm actually really interested in Marcelo Thurman now, so I could really try to change up some formations here on next year. And our kicker, Dorian Sisk, got a +4 overall, and let's see what his kick power is now at. So he got +4 to kick power and +4 to accuracy, so not too bad. And obviously we have no punters except our rookie punter, so there was no training upgrade for him, so that will do it for the training results. So we are now onto the cut players stage here, so this might be kind of tough to cut some players because I'm guaranteed we're over the roster limit. So yeah, we are way over the roster limit, so we're going to have to try to trim down 12 players to fit this constraint here. So looking at QBs here, probably definitely going to cut someone here. Don't know who yet. I'm thinking J.R. Gaines here, since he's a senior and only 72 overall. He's not going to be doing much for us, so let's just cut him right now. I'm not going to cut any running backs right now because if you look, Lavelle Evans and Jovan Thurman are both seniors, so that would put Deion Kaplan into the starting position next year, or Yancey, unless we sign a really big running back prospect next year, but that's unlikely, so I'm not going to cut any running backs as right now. And we definitely need to trim down on wide receivers, as we have a bunch of them right here, so let me just get to that. So first, I'm just going to cut this wide receiver Ray Bishop. He's a sophomore, red shirt. He's only 67 overall, so I don't see much use for him on this roster. I'll also cut Damian Thornton here, as he's a redshirt freshman, and he's only 67 overall. And we're just going to be getting better wide receiver prospects, so I don't really see the point in keeping him around. And same here with Dante Nelson. I don't really see the point in keeping him around as well. And I'm going to cut Jason Steele, tight end here. We have way too many tight ends, and he's a red shirt, so he already used his red shirt ability. Alrighty, so I finally reached down to 67 players, and the reason why I cut down on more players is because to get more transfers in next year's offseason, you have to have available roster spots. So just like that middle linebacker we got in transfer, I had to have open roster spots, so might as well make the room right now. Alrighty, so we are finally into the last stage of the offseason, preseason of 2014, and this is another really exciting time as we get to do a lot, as we see the depth chart and the red shirting and also custom schedules. So alrighty, so I'll start off here with the red shirting process, and the only QB I'm gonna red shirt here is Udolan Barrett. So I'm gonna redshirt Deion Kaplan here, so I'm just gonna save an extra year of eligibility for him, because looking at next year, both Lavelle Evans and Jovan Thurman's gonna be gone, so he'll be next in line, so might as well just save an extra year in eligibility on him. And we also have some other decent running backs backing him up. And looking at wide receivers here, I'm gonna redshirt Jose Santos and Jamal Capps. So we'll just rock out with this wide receiver core as of right now. And I'm going to redshirt tight end Brian Williams, who we got. And hopefully he'll just keep progressing and his speed gets better and stuff like that. So look forward to him in the future. And I'm also going to redshirt here Obadiah Mbainfu, as I don't really see him carving out too much of a role for us in his freshman year, as he has some other players above him at defensive end. And I think what I'll be doing here is I'm going to be redshirting Marlon Keys, cornerback, who we got, and because we have a bunch of good corners above him. And I'm really tempted here to redshirt another player, but I think I'm going to hold off. And also I'll be redshirting Kareem Kellens, free safety, because Chris McCarthy is a senior, so I'm just trying to save some extra years of eligibility on him. And I'll also redshirt Eric Hamilton here, as both of our strong safeties will be graduating next year, so also we'll save a year of eligibility on Hamilton. So now we'll be setting Santa Fe's year 2 depth chart right here for the beginning of the season, and I still might make some changes to this depth chart right before week 1 due to some practice or something, but right now I'll be keeping Johnny Morris at QB number 1. It's really tempting to put Travis Roberson, and I'm gonna have to practice with him a little bit to see how he plays, but right now Johnny Morris is too good right now. So I will keep you updated though, because this is going to be probably the best position battle on our team going into the new season. And obviously Lavelle Evans is going to be our starting running back, no argument really here. And the wide receiver core will stay the same as last year, as we'll have Marcus Washington, Jeffrey Cox, Alex Newton, and Bernard Smith here. And actually Travis Roberson's here. I didn't know you can actually have QBs at wide receiver. So that's interesting. So we do have the option at playing Travis Roberson at wide receiver. And looking at tight end, same as last year with Glenn Saunders and Perry Coates at 1 and 2. Jeff Mobley, our freshman tight end, will be our 3rd string tight end. The O-line stays the same, and also our defensive ends will be the same. Not starting John McGrew over Jamel McIntyre. And also Avery Randall will be our starting right end like last year. And looking at defensive tackle here, obviously Oliver Murphy's going to be our number 1. But I'm decided to put freshman Tom Sanders above Trey Harrington just to see how he plays. Don't know if I'll keep him there this whole entire year, but I definitely like him because he has a lot more mobility than these other 2 defensive tackles. And freshman Patrick White will obviously be our starting outside linebacker here. And obviously Rashawn Woods will be our starting middle linebacker. So I totally forgot about Tyler Johnson and the whole entire transfer eligibility rules. He cannot play this year since transferring you have to sit out a year. So I will be starting Carlos McFadden as a linebacker here. And looking at the corners here, I have Derek Skinner at starting corner just like last year. And now I'll be putting freshman Mark Foster at corner number 2 over Damian Good. And Chris McCarthy will be our starting free safety, replacing Dion Pittman. And Titus D'Angelo will be our starting strong safety, but I'm just going to have to find a way to somehow incorporate Marcelo Thurman, just because he has such amazing speed at strong safety. And how can I not put Jovan Thurman as our kick returner number 1, as he won the Kick Returner of the Year award last year, so pretty hard not to put Jovan Thurman at number 1. And also have Alex Newton returning it at number 2. And same with punt returning, I'll have Jovan Thurman at number 1 and Alex Newton at number 2. And now on to our schedule for next year. And obviously I'm going to change some things up. This was just a random generated schedule they gave me, so I'll be right back and change some things up here. So I think I've come up with a pretty good schedule here. One thing I should add, I can only schedule 12 games per season due to the conference rules and stuff like that. But anyways, for week 1 we'll be having a bye week, and then our first game of the year, week 2, will be at Buffalo. So that should be a pretty easy opening game. Don't really see, just want to kind of schedule a easy game for week 1 to get back into the flow of it and test out our team. And then week number 3, I always try to add a ranked opponent into the each year, and I think North Carolina could be a really easy ranked opponent if they don't lose. So hopefully they stay ranked, but I was actually kind of surprised they were ranked number 14th, because North Carolina isn't that great of a program. So hopefully that could be a really good game for us, and we could possibly win that, and it would be huge if we win against a ranked opponent. And then here we go into a bye week 4, and then we go into conference play starting week 5 against ECU, then Southern Miss, then Marshall, at Rice, at North Texas, versus Tulsa, at UTSA, and then versus UTEP, and then Tulane, and then Louisiana Tech will be our last game of the year, unless we do make conference championship, but Louisiana Tech will be the last regular season game. So that will do it, guys. Thank you so much if you watched this, and hopefully that was exciting. I really like off seasons in like any CFMs or franchises, so really happy about how things turned out this off season, and the team looks a lot better than last year, so hopefully we can compete even better, and hopefully we might even hit the top 25 rankings if we're able to beat teams like UNC that's ranked number 14th. But also, I will, I'm not so sure what I'll be doing. I might post a practice or something and show off some of the new players, including Travis Roberson, the new QB, and Mark Foster, and other players like that. So, I don't know what I'm exactly might do. I might post like a couple of practice clips before week 1 against Buffalo. So, not so sure what I'll be doing on that, but I'll be doing something. So, in the meantime, I'm going to try out some of these new players and determine who our starting QB will be for this upcoming season. But, yeah, once again, thank you guys for watching, and if you haven't liked and subscribed before, would really appreciate it if you would. And, yeah, I will talk to you guys later. Peace out.